Good evening, gentlemen. As usual, it's a giant mess on the bench because I'm a spaz. I wanted to mention a few things that I kept forgetting to mention in previous videos. First of all, let me turn the radio down. I'm always forgetting about that. I forgot to mention in that other video, I've got this bare board for this new design H8 storage controller. This is one of Norberto's boards from 2021, I guess, according to the date on here. But this combines the functionality of the double density floppy controller with the H.7 SASI controller. It's SASI. It's a precursor to SCSI. I think it stands for Shugart Associates something interface, I don't know. Whatever. In any case, it's the same thing that one Q-bus board for the H11 used that I never really got around to doing much with. But I think the SCSI to SD does support emulation of SASI drives. And you can set the sector size, or the block size, I mean. And so I think with some funny business I can probably get one of those working on this board, but I'm not going to worry about that for now. I just want mainly I want the soft sector, the H.7, the soft sector disk controller. But it only works with a Z80. So in the meantime, I've got this little board to assemble from FarmTech. It's an interesting place. I need to go to their real website and see what they make because that sounds interesting. Being a farmer myself, this is a virtual sector generator. It goes between the, that's not the correct board, it goes between the disk connector of the hard sector H17 floppy controller and generates the sector pulses. See, you know on floppy disks, let me show you. So here's a disk. This is a faulty disk. It's just one that was in a drive that shipped. So this little hole here, that's the index hole, and if you spin the media inside, you'll eventually run into a hole there. So each time the disk goes around, there's a sensor that detects that hole, so it can determine the rotational speed, and from there it figures out how the sectors are laid out on the disk based on the speed that it's spinning at. I suppose is how it works. Maybe I'm full of shit about that. I don't know. If you haven't noticed already, I don't actually know what I'm doing, so I may be lying to you. But in any case, hard sector disks have one of those holes for every sector on the disk. So you can't use, the disk drives are exactly the same, but the media is different. You can't get hard sector media anymore, especially 10 sector hard sector media, which is what the H17 requires. So this thing reads that single sector pulse from the soft sector media and generates the intermediate hard sector pulses for the hard sector controller, so you can use regular 5 1/4 inch soft sector floppy disks. It runs off of a 9-volt battery. It's not clear to me whether, if this battery goes dead while you're using the machine, if you can replace this battery with the power on and not suffer any data loss. If this battery can't be replaced with the power on and you risk data loss using this, then I may construct something else, perhaps a couple of 18650s with a charge controller so it'll charge itself while the machine's on, and then just power the thing while it's off or something. I don't know, because I don't want to lose data. Nobody wants to lose data. That's not cool. Maybe you don't lose data. I don't know. It may just be to keep the settings saved in the doohickey, and as long as the power's on, that'll be fine. I don't know. I'll have to ask the dude. I don't want to spread lies, so ignore all that. And I don't remember if I showed this earlier either. This is the 64K memory board. I did finally find a manual for it. It was in the obvious place. I was just too stupid to look there to begin with. But I think I've got it all configured and ready to plug in with the 8080 CPU card. So I think the thing that's going to hold me up as far as getting this thing done is the headers for this backplane, because these headers that I bought, these gold-plated headers, they are too long. They're a little bit longer than the headers that came out of the machine, and when you plug them into these vintage cards, that's fine, because they go right through and stick out the other side, and that wouldn't hurt anything, I don't think. But when I assemble these, like this H37 and the Z80 card and stuff, I'm gonna use right angle like modern headers, and they're not open on the ends, so the pins don't go all the way in, and then the cards won't mount in the right place. The screw holes won't line up, and it'll make me sad, and I don't like to be sad. So I ordered more gold-plated headers, and I don't know when they're gonna get here. Okay, let's assemble this thing. I apologize for my dirty fingers. I got paint on them, and you know how paint is. It doesn't wash off very good, but one of these days it'll come off. Alright, so this virtual sector generator is just a PIC microcontroller, some pull-up resistors, and something. What is U1? LT1121. That must be some kind of, I bet that's some kind of voltage regulator. We just got to solder all this stuff in, according to the directions kindly provided. Oh look, I'm going to dox myself. Oh well. That's alright. West Virginia is both a castle and a stand your ground state, so if I just doxed myself, come on then, I guess. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. It says to install the 3K resistors in positions R1 and R2. Those will be orange, orange, red. That's these. Very good. Positions R1 and R2. There's R1, or there's R2. I figured that these resistor positions down here were optional when you used the resistor network, but I guess not. Or maybe they 10K, yeah, these are all 10K resistors down here. Aha! I see. I see. So that's going to be brown, black, orange, right? For 10K, yeah, okay. So, 10K goes in R3. R5 through R9 are also 10K. And we must, of course, install the tolerance stripes all in the same direction, because you know what I'm saying? 1K in position R4. 1K. That is a 1K resistor in position R4. And have a 1N4148 small signal diode in position D1. Remember that diodes are polarized and can also be sensitive to heat, so one must be a little bit paranoid when installing diodes, in my opinion. Of course, maybe I'm just full of shit. That is always a possibility. Very good. It's probably about time to solder a bunch of this stuff in, isn't it? I used a little too much on the first one. That's okay. You know what they say. The bigger the glob, say it with me, gentlemen. The bigger the glob, the better the job. Yes. Mr. Beefy. Oh, what are you doing, buddy? You don't want to be up here. You don't want to be up here. You'll inhale the solder smoke. And then you'll cough. You don't want cough. Do you? No way. Hey. Be a good boy. I don't need help sorting out the small parts today, buddy. No, sir. No, sir. No. No. I appreciate the sentiment. I know you want to be petted, but it's not the time. No, sir. I will come and get you here in just a little bit, and we will have more snuggles than you'll know what to do with. How about that? Yes, sir. Oh, Mr. Beefy. Mr. Beefy. Mr. Beefy. Stay off the bench, buddy. Stay off the bench, buddy. Okay, hang on a second. I have to snuggle Mr. Beefy until he is tired of being snuggled. And then we will continue this project. Oh, what a good boy you are. Oh, look at this cattery. Oh, you're so fat. Oh, you're big. You want to say hello to the humans? Hello, humans. Hello, humans. Hello, humans. Oh, Mr. Beefy, what are you doing? What are you doing? Huh? Oh, scratch the head. Scratch the butt. Scratch the head. Are you tired of being petted? Now, where were we? Now he says that we should install the 14-pin IC socket in position U2. Note that those are keyed, so if you're following along at home, don't put it in the wrong way. And this is one of those fancy sockets that latches into the board, so we don't even need any tape for this today. Fancy kit. Unlike me, apparently this guy doesn't buy the absolute cheapest components he can find. I thought about just getting a board made and sourcing the rest of it myself, because I gotta say, the kit is pretty expensive for what it is. It's $40 for this little board and some connectors and a PIC microcontroller. And I guess microcontrollers are worth their weight in gold these days, but you know, I've got a lot of stuff on my plate, and I didn't want to screw around. So, and the guy wrote the software that runs on the microcontroller too. So, I guess I understand him wanting to charge a little bit and get his money. And you know, like I was willing to pay it. So good on him. You know what I mean? I'm not complaining per se, but just know that it's not like your $10 kit board thing. It's more like $40 plus shipping, right? You know, if I was making a similar product and including quality components, which we'll see when we get to these pin headers too. Those are some really nice pin headers included with this. I'd probably try to charge about the same amount anyway. So you got to pick the parts and pack the bags and all that shit. That's time consuming and annoying. Then he wants us to install this thing, LT1121. Micro power low dropout regulators. Okay, so that is a regulator. I guessed right the second time or something. Alright. So that's in the correct orientation. Next, he wants us to install the resistor network. It's a 10K by 8 resistor network, and these are polarized. There's a common pin that has to go to one side, and there's a dot next to the common pin, so you got to make sure you get those lined up right. Alright, next he wants us to install 1 microfarad capacitors in positions C1 and C2. The two middle pins here go to the same trace on the board, so if they touch on this side, it's okay, because that's pretty tight in there. They're going to touch on this side of the board, but that's all right, I think. Now, we want a 0.1 microfarad capacitator in position C3. I believe that should be 104. Okay. Okay, next he wants us to install the transistor, the 2N4401 in position T1. Those have to go in a certain way too, of course, but fortuitously it is marked. Unfortuitously, I need to spread these leads a little bit to get it into the hole right. Alright, next he wants us to install the 2x3 header in J3. It is a gold-plated header. The bigger the glob, the better the job. Now it says stick the pick in the socket. In the correct orientation, of course. I'll just save that for last, I guess, but maybe it doesn't matter. Now look at these. Look at these pin headers. These are latching headers, gold-plated, already tinned. Very, very, very fancy. These are, of course, also polarized. All right. Man, those are some pretty components. Yes, they are. Now we've got a battery pack, 9-volt battery pack that goes on it. You know what I ought to do? I ought to trim those shorter so that they go right in there without all that excess wire. I need to clean the flux off of that before we do this. Don't want a big catastrophe. Flux be gone. And then we just stick this thing to the middle of the back of the board. Straight. Push it on there like a Chad. Yeah, that'll do. Very good. Problem is, I don't have any 9-volt batteries. I'll have to test it some other time. But there it is, the Farm Tech virtual sector generator. Very high quality components. Alright, see you next time.